Brought to you by C Prime, an Atlassian Platinum and Enterprise Solution Partner, and an Atlassian Verified Vendor. Power Scripts for Jira.
Let's look at an example that I just did, and I used the word description in this if statement. That is actually all you need to do to get the value of the description for an issue. But that's assuming that the issue is in context. What does that mean? Well, if I were to run this right now, it would fail. And we'd get the error that it's not running in the context of an issue. Well, again, what does that mean? So I need the value of a description of a specific issue. Which issue are we talking about? We are not specifying in this script a single issue. There are some scripts that, by their very nature, will run in the context of an issue, like a workflow script. That script inside a workflow is running for a specific issue at a specific time, and you don't need to specify in the script which issue you're talking about because it can only be one. Same thing with a listener. A listener is triggered by an event that is fired by a single issue, and it is automatically in the context of an issue, and you don't need to explain to the script any further what issue you're talking about. But when we're running things manually through our dashboard, it doesn't know what project we're in, it doesn't know what issue type we're talking about, it doesn't know an issue until we give it context. So just because we're not running a script in the context of an issue doesn't mean we can't get information about a specific issue. We just need to tell it something. So what I can do, I can create a string variable like this and set it to the value of an issue in my test project. Now, right now, it's just a string. I could write anything in there, and it means nothing. In order for it to mean something, we need to do a process called substitution inside SIL, which means I'm going to convert this text string into an issue. And you do that very simply by just surrounding it with %. And using this dot syntax, I am now saying, go grab issue TP-45 and give me the description. So I'm checking now the description of a specific issue. If I were to run this, it would work, but not return anything but something we have further up here. We'll get rid of that. So now let's actually look at the description of TP45. We can use the runner log routine and return the value, and don't forget your semicolon at the end. And there is actually the description of TP45. Or I could just write summary. Story 1. That is actually the summary of TP45. I can use anything in this variable resolution list. This is a list of the standard Jira variables that I can just type in the name and get the value for. Some will return as arrays of values because there are multiple, such as labels. We'll return an array of strings or watchers. Some will return as dates if I'm talking about dates. But as you can see, it is extremely simple just to grab data off of a field. Well, what about custom fields? What about fields that aren't on this list? You can still use those fields. If I were to jump over to TP45, you can see that the summary of our story and the description that we just grabbed. But I also have some custom fields about wine. How do I grab this field about winery? Well, if I jump over to my custom fields and I go to configure, let me move this up. You can see I'm getting an ID for that custom field. And all we need to do is use that ID in our script, and we can grab that value. Now, we just need to change the formatting a little bit, and we just say custom field underscore and then that specific ID. Now, if I run it, I should get the same value. And I just wanted to point out that this custom field is actually a database custom field from our Database Custom Fields Pro plugin. And because they all run off of SIL, you can see how easily they also work together. Now, it could be a little awkward to use the custom field ID every time. What if we just wanted to use something like this? Winery. Well, you can actually do that. And we can do that by creating what's known as an alias. So if I go, using my SIL manager, if I go into the Kepler home, which has some configuration files, and I go into SIL aliases, in this list, I can create what's known as an alias. And I can say winery equals custom field 10402. Now, if I save this, I can just use the word winery in my script, and SIL will know I am talking about a specific custom field. So let's try that. If I didn't set that up right, it wouldn't have cleared the check. And we still get the winery listed. We can also use the name of the variable, but a lot of times you'll have a space in the name of a variable, so you have to do that a little bit differently. You do that by wrapping it, well, starting with this pound sign and then wrapping it in curly brackets. So I'm going to jump back over. I don't have an alias set up for state or region. So I can just come in here and type region as long as I have it wrapped. And I'm getting California. So that's all you need to do in order to use custom fields inside of a SIL script. Just be careful when you're writing your scripts to understand if you're inside the context of an issue or not. And if you're using the runner gadget in order to test your scripts, just understand that that is not going to be in the context of an issue, even if ultimately your script is going to be in the context of an issue. Just plan accordingly.